it drives me crazy all the time. It's like how everything is like a franchise. Like everything gets franchised, and
it's also insincere.
It is, yeah. It takes away from the art like very drastically.
Insincere is a good word.
Because it's like you have to like.
Because it's not about art, obviously.
No, it's not. It's about like a consumer thing.
And even if it is, they'll always throw in some shit at the end where it leaves it open to like, please make enough money so I can make a second one.
Yeah,
It's like a little like, extra credit scene kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. You would never see like a painting like that, like a painting with like, I don't know, like a modulation like
maybe you should do that
to continue it. Yeah, maybe that's what's
all the trend. You should have like an end cut off of your painting, and then have like another end cut off of another painting, so like they kind of merge up.
Where's
like,
I'm gonna buy for the sequel here. Sequel to this painting. Yeah, it's silly. It's too bad though. Not that I even play Diablo, but I know like people love that game very dearly.
I love Diablo 2. I played 3 a little bit. My computer kind of sucks. I couldn't run it at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get into it. Plus, it was already like the feel was already dead. The feeling was dead already. You know.
So like you were saying, Jeff, that like Diablo 2, they kind of like nailed it and perfected it.
I would say that.
Were you a Diablo 2 person?
I played it because I had the original StarCraft and I had Diablo when they came out, kind of thing. But I didn't play Diablo online. I didn't have like online back then. I just played like the single player thing.
Oh, okay.
But even then, I played more StarCraft than anything else. Those games
Did you play Diablo?
No.
Yeah,
like,
I love
very
Diablo
minimally, like going over certain people's houses and they had Diablo and watching them play Diablo for a few minutes. But it was always like a game that I watched and was aware of, and I always wanted to play it. I was like, damn, I wish I could play this because it's like
it's probably free if you want to play it now.
Yeah, true.
Diablo 2.
It's so
free.
You probably just get it.
Yeah.
Like, super easy.
It might be like $5.
Yeah.
They don't charge monthly fees for Diablo.
That's another thing.
They don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's like another thing.
For MMOs.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy about video games. Like, I like video games, but it's just like, I feel like I was telling Jeff, like, I wanted to get a PS1 emulator to play like this PS1 game that I never got to finish. And I was all psyched up about it for like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, I can't wait to do this. But then I just thinking about it, I started to feel guilty about how much time I would end up spending to like play the video game. And it's just like, I'm so torn about that because I feel like there's so much like enjoyment in video games, but like given my addictive personality and you know how entertaining video games are, like I'm just so scared to like get involved and just waste like tons of hours of time like playing.
Just save it for like one of those days, you know what I mean? It's like, there are some days where you can't do anything else. Or it's like you're burnt out on everything else. And it's like,
true.
You just jump on video games, like a lazy kind of winter break, let's say.
Yeah.
There's one day where, you know, Julie goes out and it's like this and that. And it's like, you've been already painting or something. It's like, fuck it, I'm just going to play video games for like 4 hours straight. You know?
That would be so crazy. I can't even imagine that like set of events like actually transpiring.
Yeah, but, you know, there's shit like that though. You know what I mean? Like there will come a time when you might as well have it set up so you can just hop on. You know,
gotta be ready.
Yeah, usually like anytime these days that I try to play a video game, I feel like it feels like I don't enjoy it like I used to. It feels like a job or like I have to figure something. Like it's not fun, you know.
Really? Is that with games you played in the past? Or just like
I used to love playing Counter-Strike, and I was getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And I tried to play like a couple weeks ago, and it felt like, I don't know, like it's just not fun anymore, you know?
Yeah. Well, Counter-Strike is fucking annoying. Like, the people who play Counter-Strike are really fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of... There's some cool people, too, but
I'm sure, but...
It definitely attracts a lot of, like, teenage, you know...
morons.
Yeah,
it's just like...
you
talk me into it, because I was playing StarCraft back when we were playing StarCraft, and I was like, man, this is too competitive. Yeah. And it's too time consuming. And then I think it was you suggest like I play something like Counter-Strike where I could just like jump into a game and play around. And I was like, it sounds good, but like Counter-Strike is equally as competitive as I think StarCraft, and then B, the people are just so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, I think the StarCraft people are a lot less. People in StarCraft are a lot less likely to say nonsense.
Yeah,
because they're more into the game.
Yeah,
Counter-Strike there's a lot of room for little kids to talk shit.
Yeah, I tend to mute all the players.
Yeah, I had to figure that out really quick.
Yeah, I do that too.
I mean, there's some servers where it's okay, but I mean, usually I'll just play like Office for like half hour if anything, and then I leave and never come back for a few months. You know, to get my fix basically.
What games do you play now aside from FIFA?
I'll play like Rocket League sometimes. which is basically like FIFA with cars, but it's online with other people.
It looks like a fun game.
But it's a fun... See, it's like a reflex game, so I like reflex games more than anything else.
No, those games are cool. Like Fusion Frenzy, did you ever play that game?
It was like an Xbox game.
Yeah.
I think you're like in a ball or something like that. I've seen it being played, but I was like, what the fuck is this?
There's like a million mini games.
That's pretty cool.
It's fun though.
Like Mario Party kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
See, like that... I mean, Mario Party's cool with people, but yeah, like reflex or like action games where it's like you just do a thing and it's like it's based on your skill. It's like you don't have go to this town and retrieve 3 armadillo shells. And then go to
I
the
hate
queen's
that.
daughter and fuck her in the ass for 3 hours and try to do that right.
Like The Witcher 3 is kind of like that. Have you ever heard of that game?
Yeah, I hear it's great. And
I've heard that too. I have it because it came free from with my computer.
Oh, they're gonna make a Netflix show, I think. Too.
I played it. I could tell it seemed cool, but again, it's very tedious. I don't have it in me to go to this town, go to that town, and have like 17 boring conversations, and then something cool will happen for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's like get to it.
Yeah, it's just too underwhelming.
Yeah, I can't do that. I tried playing Skyrim again the other day.
Oh, that's another one that's like that.
And then
that looks so amazing. Remember when we were at the studio and they were playing Skyrim? I was like, oh, I was gonna have a heart attack.
I was fucking around for a bit and then like doing stupid shit, and it's like I'm playing with myself, which is like okay, but it's like I'm not like getting anything out of it. Like anything more, I would have to put like too much effort, and then I got sick of it. I was like, oh fuck this.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one thing that turned when I don't know if it got older or games got worse, but as I got older, it feels like games aren't as fun. Or maybe I played the wrong games or it's me, I don't know, but it just seems like
the chemistry isn't there anymore.
I think it's like a little bit of every like ingredient, to be honest.
Because before when I was a kid, I remember like I was so into it,
Mm-hmm.
I think I had like
you had more time too.
Yeah, and I didn't think about like life in the terms of I have to progress in life or like my job is a problem. Like,
you're just like fuck this video games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It would just be all like it would be from like one hangout to the next. Although like my life sucked in some ways, I had no responsibility really.
Yeah, you just felt bad and played video games.
Yeah,
that's all you had to do. Be sad and play video games. So, now you have to be sad and go to work, which is a lot harder.
Yeah, I'll get like a bit of the herpes going on.
Yeah.
And then I got it, and then I was trying to like remedy it, and then also it's cold, and it's like at the edge of my mouth, so it wound up it like went past the herpes stage, and now it kept getting like cut because of so now it's just like a wound. It's like scab based. It's like right at the edge of my mouth. I've been having it for like since I was a kid.
Yeah,
the doctor's like, you got herpes. I was like, herpes? I ain't never even kissed a girl. Like, how do I have herpes?
I don't know how the hell I got it either.
Like, what the fuck, son? It's like so, it's so common.
Yeah, everybody has a pretty.
It's like 90% or something. There's only like the other. I was reading. I wasn't reading anything. I might have talked about this show where this dude like debunks things or he talks shit about. It's on Netflix.
Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah, and then the one about sex. I think it's sex. He brings up herpes, and everyone's always like, "Ew, herpes," and then it's like, "What is herpes?" And it's just like some bumps, and then like that's like there's no other effects.
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
It's just like we have like this crazy thing about it.
It depends how you get it. I get it really bad. I haven't got it in like a couple of years, thankfully, but I'll get it like all up my nose. It looks like I'm a fucking crack
I remember
addict.
you telling me about
Holy
that.
shit!
Like horrific. But ever since I started, like after a while, basically. The same medicine that you get if you had genital herpes, Valtrex, or the generic it's Vasiclover or some crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just take 2 of those pills, and then 12 hours later you take another 2 pills, and then as long as you take them right before it like fully comes to life, it'll kill it instantly. It's so much better than creams and everything. And if you have whatever insurance, I'm sure it covers it. So I just asked the doctor, like, can you prescribe me this? He just doesn't even. He instantly does it because it's like you don't get high off of it or anything,
Yeah, it's just like.
It just kills it. I would definitely, if you have that, which everybody probably has, I would definitely recommend that.
I'll check. I've been using Lysine, which works pretty well.
Yeah, like those pills were just like instantly gone. Instantly.
Yeah, definitely check that
out. In 24-hour period, it's done. Yeah,
I haven't gotten it this bad since like.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. I guess because you have a beard.
Yeah, I was like, thank God I got a mustache. So I was at work. I was like, woo. Don't get my.
Oh man, I remember especially because I worked.
It's like a cute Asian girl now.
Yeah, I worked in food most of my life, unfortunately and tragically. And like I had like all up my nose. People were looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, they think you're on drugs or have some horrible disease, but really it's nothing. It just looks horrible.
She just won a burqa for a few days. Yeah, it's like they can't judge me now.
It's horrible. It is embarrassing. It's funny how like little things like that like make a difference, you know.
Yeah, I remember in 7th grade I got it like real bad. Yeah. It was like I remember it like scarred, like it got so bad. Not scarred, but it was like a big like scabby thing. I was like, and when you're fucking 13 in 7th grade, and it's like, come on, man, that's not a good time for that.
It's weird that
it's my dick swinging blooming season. It's like, can you swing dick with this? My tiny pecker doesn't have enough like credibility to like overshadow this.
Surprisingly, Stacy doesn't have that. Look at her blood results. She doesn't have that herpes either, thankfully.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
You never had it? Maybe you don't have it.
White people.
Yeah.
White privilege.
White privilege. Can be that.
They give immunity only to white people.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
So we get that other vaccine.
They laugh at all the immigrants with their face herpes.
Yeah. It's weird because like the face herpes, like if you had it in your face and like you could give it to somebody's genitals if your face touches their genitals.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But what if somebody has it on their genitals and it touches your face?
I believe also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a two-way street.
That would suck. That you can never cure it if you have the. I mean, so the genital one would suck, but even that, it's not like it's life ruining, but it would be. It would suck.
What's interesting is like, how come it only targets like mouth and genitals? Like you can't get it on like your arm or your.
I think maybe the wetness.
Yeah.
Maybe, is that it?
Yeah, I think it needs like mucous membranes, like mucousy membranes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think and like dark, like I think it's similar to fungus in the way that a fungus needs like mucousy,
like a warm, damp,
dark, you know,
condition. Genital-like conditions.
I remember when I was sleeping with women irresponsibly, like once, like I would inspect their vagina, and I'm like, this is obviously a horrible way to do it. It doesn't say much, but better than nothing, you know. It'd be like, what are you, like I would like poke in and try to like open it a little bit and look at it.
Were you taking notes?
You had the thing. You had the thing for the GYN. You put them in the thing with the stirrups, examine, give them a
cotton swab.
Yeah. Damn, son. They let you do that too?
Well, I try to do it like discreetly, but once it's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm just looking at it.
You have like one of those eye tools, like the diamond.
The jewelry. Yeah. Inspecting the labia.
That's a horrible example, but better than nothing.
Like, this is so beautiful. So
what are you doing? Poking around.
I'm making the memory.
You have like a notepad out. That's fucking helpful. I can't believe you did that. But I guess I can't blame you either.
Because I mean, at least herpes you can see usually.
Right.
I guess. But anything else you can't see.
Yeah. But I mean, if she got like some green goo or something, that's, you gotta observe.
I think realistically, like, I don't know. I've done a lot of research. Because especially all the time I spend nervous about like STD results.
Yeah.
Like HIV is highly unlikely to get if you're straight. Like it really is mostly like gay people.
And
black people.
And heroin.
Gay black people mostly. And,
they do heroin.
And drug addicts, yeah. But if you're like average heterosexual guy, like it's pretty much impossible to get it. But you could get it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so but that's not like a green light to just have sex with anyone, but you know, but it's like it's not. I feel like people blew the reality of it out of proportion.
Yeah.
To scare people.
I think it's probably a lot more common back then too.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the past too.
And it was so fatal and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, it's like the treatment still isn't that. I don't think that amazing.
I think it's way better now. Like, you can pretty much just live.
Yeah, it's way better, but I'm sure it still takes its toll. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess because it's like how many people died.
Didn't Magic Johnson cure it?
That's what they say.
He's like, it's gone. He's like, I slam dunk that shit.
Did he actually say that?
No. He also like a billionaire who
South Park did a funny episode like that where they were talking about like, what's the treatment? And they were like blending up money and then like shooting up money. It's like, it's money. The amount of drugs coming from Mexico into the United States, like, it's got to be that. I mean, it's either got to come, I bet like they just...
It's not coming from Canada. I mean, maybe now. I mean, it's definitely coming from Canada still, you know, because they always had more, they were also more lax, but I don't think to the level that it comes from Mexico.
Yeah.
It moves around too, but, you know, just think about, like, how much of America is touching Mexico. And it's like,
it's absolutely
you can't control all that. You can't fucking build. Can't build a wall either.
Why don't you build a wall?
That's ridiculous.
What happens to the wall thing anyway?
I wonder, yeah.
Talk shit. It's like,
gotta look
I'll fuck you up. It's like, never fuck them up.
Yeah, what happened with that? Fuck them up. No, that's true though. The wall thing did not come to fruition.
No, not at all.
Everybody
forgot about it.
He's only got 2 more years.
Like there's
to build a wall.
Like a wall is such like an easy problem to fix in like 20. And any time past 1995, you could get by a wall. You know, all you need is like a ladder big enough. First of all, you know, you can't patrol the whole thing. You know,
that would require like patrolling it. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's like the most like what are we fighting, the Mongols, bro? It's like just fucking like, what are you doing? You're taking like the most like complicated route to fixing a problem that it's like just nip it at the bud.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like a Band-Aid kind of solution. Anyway.
Yeah,
even if it did work a little bit.
It's like a literal Band-Aid too, in the sense.
Yeah, it's just blocking.
Yeah,
like everybody's
physical barrier. That's it.
Line up here. Yeah.
So it's so stupid. It's like they can just get over it or under it. You know, well,
but that's
just fucking get a catapult and just like they already do. And just catapult shit over.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they just
when
catapult drugs over the existing border
you're
wall.
talking about
they literally catapult drugs.
Like, wow,
yeah, they catapult like drugs, like huge. You know, it's super like packed and shit. You know,
a trebuchet.
That's awesome.
Whipping it over there.
They might have a trebuchet. I don't know.
Nah,
I don't know how advanced they are.
They probably drone it in.
Maybe now. Yeah.
It's funny because I think in a way. It's like you have to accept and help. You have to help other people with their problems in a way because like you have to care about like Mexico's problems. Let's say because
they're touching us.
Then people will just commit crimes. You know, like you can't like
pretend like it's not a thing.
Yeah,
it's like we're an island with Canada basically and Mexico. That's like our main like shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like we should be making sure they're cool. It's like
we should be getting along much better than
it's
we
like
are. Right?
I get foreign aid, and in a sense, I'm against like helping out other countries. Like, in a way,
really?
No, because think about it. All right, how many problems do we need to solve here first? You know how when you're in an airplane and the fucking oxygen mask comes down, and what do they say? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping your children out or whoever the fucking needs it. It's like you need the oxygen first before you start giving it to other people. So it's like, why are we helping like this random ass fucking country like
I would
doing
say
this and throwing money at like Israel just to say as an example.
Yeah.
But any like kind of like crazy like it's like not that let's never do that, but it's like can we just concentrate on some shit here first and like the initial like immediate impact. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that is important. It's like in Europe they have like the European Union, so it's like all right, they're like focusing on themselves. You know what I mean? They all got together. It's like, hey, we're all kind of like codependent in the sense. It's like let's get like some shit like to work where it benefits all of us. It makes us all prosper. You know, in theory. So it's like, why isn't there like an American Union? You know,
wow,
or a North American Union? It's like, why aren't we like trying to? Like, we're all touching. We're all just physically touching. That's a big fucking deal. That's, like, the main, like, thing right
now. It's hard to balance how much people should help each other, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really like what Jeff is saying about that. Sorry, guys. What else were you saying?
Everyone's policy, like, affects the neighbor, you know what I mean? There's going to be... If you do this, then it's, like, it's going to affect this in a weird way. Probably that you don't even see coming. Which is going to, like... It's gonna fuck some shit up.
So what do you do with the people that need extreme help now? Like, you know how people say they don't like the idea of redistributing wealth, like taking from the rich and giving to the poor?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe do that just once. Like, take a lot of their money once, a one-time fee to elevate the worst things.
Or just like, hey, how about, the defense budget is like, how much? Do you know?
I know in the past that I've heard that it's an insane amount of like GDP.
It's like 60%. I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's like 30%, but I feel like it's 60%.
At one point it was as high as like over 60 or at least 50.
So, okay, how about this? For 1 year, just for 1 year, we do it in half and just like, all right, it's like, we're probably not going to go into like a major like world war, right now.
Right.
Let's just like cut in half. Now we have like $30 billion or whatever. Like,
give everybody a year off.
No, that's stupid. That's like, people need to like...
Well, how would you cut the budget?
What do you mean?
Like R&D, and I guess you could look at what the most expensive areas of the budget are.
Yeah, just like chill. Don't buy shit. It's like, all right, like keep like
use the shit from last
don't
year.
Don't use the missile. Like don't be shooting missiles like every 10 seconds. Like simulate some more. Like look into simulation. Just do some simulation for a while.
Yeah.
Get back into it. Like take some yoga retreats. I don't know. Go on vacation. I don't know. Fucking figure something out. They'll figure it out. All right. They got people. Yeah. I'm sure they can figure out how people in the government cannot work for a year. You know what I mean? I'm sure they could handle it.
That's true.
So, so you get all that money, and it's like, all right, what areas need fixing? And we'll just like, squeeze some of that money into that problem until it's kind of like fixed, or at least we have like some sort of solution that will eventually make it fixed.
All right.
And we just go do that. Hey, how about fixing the education problem? Fix that shit. Fix like housing problems, like infrastructure problems. Like just fix like shit that needs to be fixed. It's like, let's say your house is dirty and you're walking around it. It's like, how much better is it when you clean your house and everything's like set up properly? How much less annoying would life be if all the roads are actually paved, instead of fucking dodging potholes like it's a video game and you're dodging like trees in the middle of the road and puddles and shit. It's like, come on, son. It's like, at least fix the roads. At least like have someone fix all the stupid problems that just like add on annoyances. Have fucking scientists figure out the best way to have traffic infrastructure. Do some heavy research on that and then fix the roads. And then instead of just, let's just put a fucking loop here, that'll be cool. And then extend this lane. It's like, they didn't even think about city planning. Have they even played SimCity? Alright, everybody plays SimCity. So it's like, man, there's so many problems that are just stupid that you're just like, why don't you just fix this? Why are we not just? It's like an easy fix.
Maybe money is not the problem then.
What do you mean money's not the problem?
Maybe there are other problems.
Like what?
Like people.
Yeah, that's true. People. But that's what the government. That's what the government should be kind of for, though. To kind of overstep people in a sense. And it's
but then
decree this is stupid. Let's fix it. It's like, you can't be doing this.
Asking the government person to do it is the worst person of all, though.
I know, but it's what it should be. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's not the case.
It's like if you build a weird structure, and it's like, hey man, you can't build this. It's against code. There's code for this. You can't do this kind of stuff here. So don't have this structure. We're gonna find you and we're gonna destroy your house because it's dangerous to have this weird structure here. So that's if a city's all fucked up, the government should be like, hey, what the fuck have you people been doing? It's like, this is how you run the city. Here's a manual. It's like, we're going to kind of oversee it for a bit, fix it. And then it's like, give you some training wheels, and then let's see if you're good in a bit. If you can run yourselves and act like fucking adults. Change education. People should be thinking more. What are we even learning in school? Facts and doodads. It's like, what the fuck is even what are you even thinking? It's like, teach them how to think at least, problem solve. I feel problem solving, thinking. I guess math is important and shit. Language, obviously, but that stuff is all important. I think. But some other shit is what the fuck are we? What is even this about?
There's definitely not a lot of practical application. It's like, oh, what did you learn in school? It's like, well, nothing I could possibly. I guess you could do stuff with everything you learn, but
some stuff it's important, but think of how many times you learned about some grammar shit and how much that doesn't even come into play anymore, Just because the more you talk, the more you figure out how to talk anyway. It's like these rules just kind of you just figure it out, for the most part. It's like we all collectively fix ourselves. It's like you write an email right now and it's a little bit technically mumble jumble. It's like, does your coworker hey, this... you used our proposition wrong,
No.
We're going to spank you or something. That shit never happens.
No.
It's like there's so much, not that I'm saying we shouldn't teach grammar and stuff, but I think there's, the way we approach it could be so much different.
Yeah.
It's like, there's all these problems that, it's like, even if we fix them now, we're not going to see an immediate change, but in the future, there should be a much more massive change, much more visible change.
The way the world works is insane. I feel like it's impossible to do anything.
Yeah,
it's not impossible, but it's like,
how do you get that shit going? Can I fix that? Maybe if I run for president, which I can't, but
I would not run for president.
Yeah.
That would be the worst move. Running for president is
So you kill the president and take over.
It is a ridiculous endeavor.
Alright, I got the gun. You don't do what I want.
Well, just to double back a little bit, but I'm super in support of this, like, North American Union. I think it'll be a way that, like, if we see ourselves, it's like, it's all tribalism, so you have to always, like, reframe the tribe,
Yeah.
And it's like, when you reframe the tribe, like, shit'll happen.
If we're a big we, it's like, it makes things so much easier.
And I think you're totally right, and it's like, I guess, like, my one argument for, like, the immigration thing was always been, like, kind of like what you guys are saying, it's like, you can try to keep people out, but at the end of the day, it's like, people are so desperate to do whatever it takes to get here that they're gonna, like, fight to do that.
To me, it's it's the airplane ashtray dilemma. Okay, you go in the airplane bathroom, there's an ashtray in there. Why is that? You can't smoke on the plane, but they know there's gonna be a case where somebody fucking smokes on that plane, and if they don't ash it right, they could start a fire and be a potentially worse situation. So I feel there should be some sort of immigration rules. And that's, like, you can't just get into Canada. You think it's easy to get into Canada? Like, nobody, like, it's like, oh, poor Mexicans. Like, you can't even if you're American, you can't even get into, like, Canada like that. You think you just go live there? Like, no, you just can't. And be a citizen. Like, they don't, it's not like that. Anyway.
You can't do that anywhere, really, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why people, it's like, but anyway, people are going to sneak over anyway. So it's like, there should be kind of like a weird, it's weird, but there should be a kind of support system anyway for that, It's like...
Right, that's a good idea.
Not necessarily like, hey, if you make it through the border, it's like you're in, because that'll kind of encourage it in a weird way. But kind
of... An obstacle course.
But kind of... Make a reality show. Yeah. It's like MXC.
Yeah. Dude, thank you. I forgot what that fucking show was called for so long. I was thinking about Mr. Shake Hands Man. Fucking people.
Oh, that was Bonsai.
Oh, Bonsai. But MXC was the similar thing.
Yeah. But,
I'm sorry, dude. So obstacle course for...
Yeah, obstacle for immigrants. Film it, make money off of that, have that fund to schools. But there should be some sort of system where it's like, something will happen. I don't know yet, but it's like, you either help them out, like, allow them to, like, live, in a way. It's like, if they get caught, it's like, hey, you can't be here. It's like, but maybe, like, whatever process they can do in Mexico... or Canada, if they're sneaking, or any other country, honestly, if they get here by airplane, like my parents did. They're just like, hey, don't move. But just have, like, a way for them to be American, or at least be legal, like, within the country, and, get them to, like, almost like a contract where it's like, some shit, it's like, yo, man, don't be an asshole,
Well, when like you guys say, like, when you move, you can't just, like, show up to a country and say, like, I live here now.
Yeah.
You have to be, like, enter into the country, right? So for you guys, it's like, well, what was that process like for when you guys came here? So, I mean, you were both pretty young, so.
So over here, it was a bit different than Canada. Canada was like, my dad went there for a wedding, and then he just never left, along with, like, half the wedding guests.
A wedding,
So that was, it was actually a wedding.
But it was a good jumping off point, good staging point.
So he did that, and then the rest, so then my mom and my brother went there, like, 2 years later, and then they lived there for a while, and that was kind of, like...
Did they come as visitors, visiting your dad, or, like...
I don't know how that...
What was their motivation?
I don't know how that worked exactly. I guess they just kind of could because they had relatives over there. I don't know the exact reason. And then she stayed, because he had a job, so he made, like, hey, I made a little, nook here. You guys can come over now.
Mm-hmm.
So they came over. Then I was born there, anchor baby style. And then we wanted to go back. We wanted to move there legally, but you can't do that from within the country, so we have to go back to Portugal and then, like, kind of apply for it.
Right.
And then when we went to do that, because my brother had that muscular dystrophy, they're like, we're not going to allow it because it's too much of a drain on the economy. So they, like, denied it.
Wow.
Because there's free healthcare. So then my aunt lived here. So then a few years, or like 8 years later, I guess, or 7 or 8. We got, because she lived here. It's like if you have family that lives here already and is like a citizen or whatever or a resident, it's easier to like get there. Depends what country you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're from India, it's like harder, but if you're from like European country, they're like, all right, it's like you have more credibility, I guess. And you're a waiter. And so they let us in here, and it's like they don't care because it's like you have to pay for your own like healthcare, so they don't, that factor didn't matter. It's like you guys want to come here and work, and you have somebody that is your family and works here and has been working here for a while, so it's like whatever, just come. It's like they gave us the shot, I guess, but I don't think it would work if we didn't have anybody here. It'd be harder. But since we had family here, or like my mom had her sister here, it was easier.
And then that's how you landed here. And then when you came over, you did the same kind of thing where it was like an application process?
Yeah, I think they go through some. I mean, like, I don't know. I wasn't, paying attention to that stuff at the time. But true. Yeah, it's some sort of like application thing in Michigan.
I think it's changed all the time, so what was true then isn't true now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know like what's going on.
The case is the same. That's so wild how much things can change so quickly.
You remember how we were saying about like the building a fence is kind of like a band-aid?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get at the heart of the problem. Like, what is the heart of the problem,
Okay, I would say this. In Mexico, we'll just start with Mexico, but we know that there's, Mexico is kind of like a funnel, too. It's like where people who need an entry point into the country go,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think
it is actually kind of funnel shape if you come from South America,
And so
that's funny.
I mean, and so it's a lot of people from South and Central America as well, and I don't know like what the proportion of each is, but I think it's like it's clear that people don't have what they feel like they need, and I think some people come to America to like pursue like a wild dream of stardom or, celebrity or something like that. But I don't think that's what's motivating these people. I think like what's motivating them is far more oppressive to make them so desperate. And I think it's got to be something that, think about that, it's like what you have to go through to try and do that, like what they put themselves through physically.
I think they just want money for the most part. But I have money to survive,
That's what I'm
saying.
How
many people, like, I've met here that, like, have families over there and they just send them money. So it's like they live here somehow and then they send them money to the rest of their family.
Right.
So it's like, and they're not working, like, glamour jobs, some of these times. It's like people that I knew that worked at, like, Seattle's, like, you're not making, like, more than, like, $12 an hour probably,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're dividing, like, half your paycheck and sending it to, like, El Salvador.
You can't make as much as $12 an hour in Seattle. That's hard to believe.
I know. I'm like pushing it up for like if you're a butcher or something, or if you've been there a long time, maybe they give you like I don't know. But
a butcher only makes $12 an hour.
No, they probably make more actually. Butchers, I think, usually make like 16 or 17. They get paid more.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. It's not like a lot. That's all I'm saying. It's like, and they're still like sending it over there, and it's still making like an impact. Or even to like Mexico and stuff like that, or any like other country,
right?
Which is what like immigrants always do. That's the shit. Like my grandfather on my mom's side did that too. He went to France and he worked there, and he lived there for like years alone, and he sent money back.
But why?
My own dad did the same thing.
Why is there no money though, or is it just not enough money?
The economy is not good. There's no jobs. It's like you could farm, but you can't like sell. Food like that. It doesn't make, it's like we're going to get a job when you have no skill, It's like there's a factory job. It's like a factory job's not going to pay you a lot of money. You need like a specialized job.
And they don't have those industries?
If I go to a factory job in America, I make way more than a factory job in like some third world country or some shit.
Right.
It's like, so it's the same thing, but I'm making way more, and I can send it back and keep my family going. And I'll have to like really scrap here, but it'll still be almost better than
Right.
You know?
So it's like a real opportunity to advance by like a increase in income. Where it's like if you stay in your country, it's like
yeah, dude. You always
there'll never be enough to have more.
You always want the next best option, right? Even you know, you're not in that position. You're in like a way better position, but you still want better. You know, you're still looking for a bit more. You know, you're always looking for a bit more, and it's like, especially if shit's bad and you see like, hey man, this is a long shot, but it's like I know so many people who have done it, and it's I have a connection there. Everybody has like some sort of connection here. You know, there's always like it's like, hey, I know a guy that knows a guy. He can maybe get you, you know, or something. He can help you out. And there's always, you know, a thread you can run. And it's like, of course you're gonna fucking do that. You know, what's the other option? Like, live terribly, like as you've been living. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, of course you're gonna go for like. It's like we're humans. We've evolved because we've like survived. So it's like we're gonna do the thing that keeps us surviving. You know, like that's like, of course they're gonna do that.
And so,
it's like that's crazy.
Is that the motivating factor then that drives people to try and enter the country illegally?
Yeah, that's why it's like, remember the gold rush? You know, nobody fucking lived over there. It's like, why do people, I mean, people live over there, but it's like, why do people go to these crazy places? Like, they're gonna get gold. Why? So they can live better than they were previously living.
There's that lady in Seabras. I've seen a lady in Seabras that was a kid and a cashier, and she's still there as a cashier.
Which one?
It's like a dark-skinned lady. She must be like 40 by now or something. But she was young like 10 years ago or looked young. I think she might have worked at a beauty salon once too.
Dark skin?
Yeah.
Is she really small?
No, she's kind of like average height. Has like a roundish face.
I'm trying to think because I worked there for like 3 years, so it's like I feel like I know everybody there. Dark skin.
Not like dark, like black, like Dominican.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. That's Yolanda, bro. I hate her. She trained me. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. She has black hair?
Yeah. What did she do to you?
No, she was just like, you know, like, it's like I'm 16, she's like a 46-year-old, like, sassy woman from, like, whatever country. I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, do this shit. And she would make you, like, do shit. It's like, get that. And it's like, why am I doing this? Stupid.
Sounds like you have a problem with authority, Jeff.
I do. I hate everyone. Because everyone there had fake authority. You know, it wasn't real authority. It's like, I'll do something. I'll work. I don't mind working. If there's a job to be done and I see, like, I need to do X because then Y will happen, I'm down with that. But if I'm doing some shit just to, like, I'm like, there's no, like, end game here. So you're just, like, flexing. Doing this for, you're just flexing right now. It's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the difference.
True.
I don't mind authority. If you earn your authority and it's like, you can dictate and it's like, all right, I'll listen to you. I'll see what's up. At least for now.
I mind authority, but I guess some people use it well. But I don't like the idea of people telling me what to do. But I guess like, I don't know, that contract would work that you work for money, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like how I feel wasn't in the contract I read.
Yeah.
But to me, it's
that's like, what the Marxists call alienation.
Yeah.
I'll look at Tara Brock, and to me, she's like an authority figure. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll listen to her.
Oh, that's an interesting way of thinking about her.
You know? Like, I give her credibility in something I have no idea about, so she's an authority, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll let her lead my way.
That kind of authority I like. I guess because I can, like, choose that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That does make a difference, because then it's like, then you get to, like, kind of control your destiny a little bit in that.
Yeah, it's like I show up to class because I wanted to go to class, you know?
That's how I feel about, like, speeding and shit.
Like, I speed too.
It's like, this is a suggestion. I'm like, you can't tell me none of these, like, everybody on the road is speeding right now. Yeah. It's like...
But I speed only in the high. I'll go like 8. I'll never go more than 80 on the highway, but I'll go 80 like for a long time.
Yeah, I do. 80 is like where I hang out at. It's like the most comfortable speed. It's like on the highway. If I'm driving around, I'll drive normal speeds, like within towns. But if it's a highway, it's like, how can I not go 80? It's like my foot's not even like pressing down. It's just like chilling. It's like...
Oh, you know, I was gonna ask you. You know, like one of my tires seems to be getting deflated quickly. Like I fill it up with air and like it gets deflated quickly. What do you think? Other than, like, is it just like the tubing inside has a hole in it?
Yeah, maybe have a hole somewhere. There's like you could spray like Or you could maybe just pour water over the whole tire, and if you see like an area bubbling, that might be where the air is coming from.
How much do you think that's to fix?
Like $10.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can probably just fix it yourself if you buy your own. Like, if it's like super small, you probably just like put like a thing over it. But anytime I got you might have a nail. You might have like driven over a nail. But you could just go to like I've never paid more than $10. They just take it out and just put like this fucking like adhesive like tire patch liquid thing. Yeah.
If I have somebody do it, how much do you think they would charge me?
$10.
Oh, they would charge you $10.
Yeah, go to the garage. Yeah, it'd be like $10. At least like the garage I want to.
I remember the first time I filled up a car with air. I'm like, can you do it? And like, I'll give you a few bucks because I wanted to see how they would do it. I'm like, it's just like filling up a bike, you know?
Yeah, it's like the same. The same thing. I keep a fucking pump in my.
Oh, you have your own pump?
I got a pump in my trunk.
Oh, nice.
I had that happen. And then it's like I've saved a few people's cars too, so it's like I felt good about it. It's like, yeah, that's right. The pump man.
How's that school going, Ian?
You know, instead of talking about like how it's going, I'd rather talk about like, you know, how to incorporate some of the interesting ideas we've been discussing regarding like politics and economics and stuff like.
Oh, you're talking about how you hate your social justice class? I was listening last week and stuff, and you're always complaining about it.
Yeah, and I think like that.
I don't want to do this, man.
Yeah.
Like, what if I drop out? Blah, blah, blah.
I think like if I applied it like that, like, you know, I made it about those issues and I was like, here's social justice. It's all project-based learning. And I was kind of thinking, I asked them a question in the past, like, I was asking them about like segregation policies. And I was like, you know, what if you were a lawmaker, like how would you create policy to correct this problem?
And what did they say?
It was all just like bullshit. They didn't, but it was like given as just a single question and a series of questions on a page. So
it wasn't like the full thought.
Yeah, like I think like maybe the depth of that.
You gotta give them a little foreplay too.
Yeah, it's so funny too. It's like how the format kind of dictates the way they think about things, you know. So yeah, I think like I have to represent that notion of like, you know, here's a real problem. Like, you have to come up with a real like viable answer, like, and it's not a hypothetical. Like, this is the problem.
Yeah, and then you could. Are you planning on critiquing them?
I think, yeah, it would be. I would like it to be
you
like
open it to the class, so everyone can like rip on it.
Exactly, it would be something like that.
As much as possible.
It would be a project-based learning, you know.
That's great,
and
that's critiquing's awesome. That's like the best way.
Dude, it is really good. Like my art students in my class.
I guess if you do it nicely.
Yeah, but a lot of people suck at it. But I think it's because like you guys touched on the fact it's like people aren't used to making things.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't comfortable with like making things, and by making things, I think that also includes like making a plan to do something. You know, it's like, and that's like when people say schools kill creativity. It's like, I think that's what they're talking about. It's like, after you got into the school system, it's like, you don't want to make anything anymore. You just want to like follow directions, really. It's like, okay, it's like, here's a problem. Where's the formula? I just need to put the formula, you know? And it's like, you look for like the mechanism, not like assuming there is no mechanism. It's like, you create the mechanism for how it works.
That's a good point, exactly.
And, oh man. So I was thinking like, project-based learning, which is a word in education, it's like that is how that is supposed to work, you know. It's like people talk about all these different like educational models, but it's like they don't really add up to me. But that one I can see.
Yeah, project, that makes sense because once you see like the fruit of your labor too, it just solidifies everything and gives you a nice little buzz, you know, makes that groove in your brain too where you want to keep doing that.
And it takes like getting over some anxiety, you know.
There's always that. But I was listening to you complain last week, and I was thinking, like, social justice, though? It's like, what is that even?
Yes, you know? I wonder the same thing.
It's to me, it's like...
It's a loaded word now.
I was thinking also, like, you know, all the Jordan Peterson stuff, like, that can be looked at as social justice, too.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense.
A good social justice.
But yeah, so it's like you have like a wide area, and you can also like how you're talking about like these political views. It's like, dude, you can stretch that subject like anywhere because it's so open ended, and you got to think about the game that is played that even brought this into the arena. There's a game. Look at the game, and it's like if you can throw anything at the wall, as long as you shame the person if they question it. So you can literally do anything, and if the it's like, why are we doing this? It's like, why would we not do this? Like, this is like blah 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 blah. It's like, this is affecting everything. This is what keeps blah 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 blah. It's like you can literally like defend anything just by like their kind of rhetoric by looking at things that way. And then they can't defend it because that's how they defend everything. They can't fight back because that's their whole shtick. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, allow everything.
It's like, oh, you too. You know this dance.
No, but that is it. It's like, you're not supposed to discriminate against anything. And
so you're just kind of getting root level. It's like, so, you could always get to the point where it's like, I'm making the shift from the root, like from a philosophical way, getting away from, this. It's like, it's problem solving to the, social justice. It's like, we can teach you what's wrong, but it's like, shouldn't we be teaching how to fix it?
That's what I'm thinking now. That's what I had that thought inspired by, like what you guys talked about. It's like, make it completely project based and not talk about any theory and just be like real like hard analysis of like the facts and be like, boom, like engage problem, like fight it, and you got to do like real shit.
That's a good point that you made. Like, you can stretch a topic so you can talk about what you want to talk about, just like in whatever way, just segue into what you actually want to talk about.
Yeah.
And at least just talk to yourself while nobody listens.
I've tried to do that at times, but I felt like irresponsible because I can't, I feel like it's defying like the notions that they want me to teach.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
You're not even watching the class? Like, what?
No, I could just be doing it,
Yeah.
But then the other thing
But it has to be like actually good though.
Alright, here's the thing. This is the problem.
Yeah, you can't just rant, like, come in drunk.
No, I did that. I have ranted it. Yeah, you're right. It's gotta be like, it's gotta have
a
structure.
point at the end.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it. But, yeah, it'll come back to me. Something about the way I do. Oh, okay, that class I teach. I never wanted to teach it, which is the first problem.
Right.
Which is my problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I also teach it with 2 other people, and because I'm not in my class, but 2 other people teach the same class, like in with a different group of kids.
Okay.
And I didn't want to take any ownership of like the program. Like, I didn't want to write it or make it or do anything with it. Like, I wanted to have things handed to me so that like I could execute it, because I was bitter about like having to teach it in the first place. So it's like, I'm not doing extra work. Like, right. I'm not writing the plans for this, like, because this should be done if this is a class that like I'm just told to teach.
Okay.
Right? Like, I should not have to like...
Is that what you said to them?
No. But this was like what was in my, my heart. And then I kind of try to stick to that, but it doesn't work, because the content as it's presented is not like substantial enough to make quality lessons.
Right.
So
you actually have to work on that anyway.
Yeah. But like, the mistake I've been making is like not taking ownership.
Right.
No extreme ownership. I'm pushing it off. I keep pushing it off.
Disownership.
Yeah. And I'm saying like, this isn't my problem. This isn't my problem. But the thing is like, this, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. And I keep doing this. It's like,
so I think, try to radically accept that problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to take either of those tactics. I think. Yeah, I'm not using radical acceptance or extreme ownership. It's fundamental denial. That's what that is.
It's like overwhelming ignorance.
Yeah, it's like, I need a Trump wall, like to build that between that problem. But that's the key. It's like, if I reframe my understanding and be like, no, that social justice class is my class that I will teach and that like I can use. It's like, then I can do something, and feel good about what I'm doing.
Your podcast. Yeah.
Versus just like, it's like there's a big like melting pile of goo, and I'm just like pushing the goo, It's like, but, I have to keep pushing the goo all the time. It just keeps flooding like over,
Think about it like this. All of your students are little sperm cells. Each one of them. And you're affecting their trajectory. You're doing it all. So it's like, obviously, you want to shoot them all in the basket and throw them all out there, into the world. But it's like, only one of those sperm cells needs to, like, make a slam dunk to change the world. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You only gotta get that one.
That's true, man. It's true. I think I've been, like, taking a really negative stance towards, like, my job as a teacher.
Me too, but not as a teacher.
Yeah. But I think, like, the fundamental reason I do is because...
You're lazy. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I think that's part of it. Egotistical.
Yes.
And so it's like, because I'm so egotistical, like, I feel like the job of teaching is beneath me.
Right.
And because I have that, then I don't embrace, like, the challenges of that job, like, completely.
Right.
But, like, in a real way, like, those challenges aren't satisfying to me, which makes the job less enjoyable to do. But I understand now that it's like, if I gave myself more of a chance in that domain, I could look at those problems and probably enjoy, like, working with those problems.
But if you what?
I could work with the problems within teaching, and I could learn to enjoy them, or at least create the conditions that...
If you did what, though?
If I examined the problems of education and teaching, right? I took myself seriously as a teacher and said, like, I'm really going to be the best teacher, like, I can conceptually be. And I lived by that, like, my life would probably improve. But there's a barrier of egotism that, like, I can't break.
You want some mushrooms?
Yeah, maybe that'll help it out.
I know what you mean, but also it's weird because it is good to do good at what you're doing in a way, but I feel like, again, like, there's so many gray areas because you don't really want to do it, and then discomfort could fuel you to do something else, or like if you keep doing it, you might end up doing something that you don't want to do, end up doing more in the wrong direction.
Don't you want to go to Mars?
Yeah, it's a long game, right?
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. It's like hard to like know what's going on in that way.
Here's the thing about Mars, though. Humanity needs to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Humanity needs to get better. Who's gonna make humanity better?
I can't do everything. I can't do everything.
You can't do everything, but you can do something.
That's what we're gonna do. I gotta think like
you're being exposed to all these people.
I'm gonna tell the students, you have to help me get to Mars. I need to live forever and go to Mars.
You're getting exposed to pre-people. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And you get to instill like philosophy on them if you want. You get to better humanity at this stage.
But I'm so self-centered that I can't like do it.
What do you mean self-centered?
It's just because it's like I feel like if I embrace like teaching, like it'll mean admitting defeat as an artist.
But just look at creating a better human. That's an art, man. It's like you can tell me. It's all connected, bro. Everything's connected. If you weren't that one thing, you weren't that another. It's like, what's it gonna do? Inspire you to have an idea? like, oh no. Come on, man. Don't even be fronting like that. It's like, you don't need to paint all the time. You ever hear that theory? It's like, if you don't play guitar for 2 weeks and you come back and you're way baller. It's the same thing. Or you're not gonna die if you don't paint for like a little bit. You'll survive. You'll think of something else. Like, there's always like there's always like something else anyway, you know what I mean?
I guess that is it. The fundamental fear is like somehow it'll all run out on me, you know?
Yeah, and it's not. It's like only if you die, but then you don't have to worry about it.
Right about now, I wish we had universal income or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of my other things. I would also instill universal basic income. I'd be like, alright government, you see what you did with half your budget? Alright, so I'm not going to give you your full budget back. I'm going to cut out a little bit. It's going to be like 80% of your original budget.
I feel like you should be able to make your case for not working. Like, you have to be a good reason why you would tap into that, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it would be like, look at my work life. I've suffered out of the 9 years that I've worked, I suffered a good, 7 to say, I think I want to take a vacation now, or something like that.
I looked at my, if I were to get physical disability, how much I get a month. I think I get $1,700 a month. I was like, would this be good for, universal basic income? $1,700 a month?
Yeah.
Technically, you could get a studio apartment on that. Let's say, it's like, alright, survival, think about survival. It's like, fuck New Jersey, when we go to, the Midwest and get an apartment for, $500.
That's low, but to do nothing, it's good.
And it's like, now I have $1,200 for the rest of the month. You know, 1,200 divided by 4 is 3. So I have $300 weekly like budget. You know, it's like,
so the university
you could at least kind of survive on that. You know, for the most part. That's my universal-based income. It'll be dependent on, like, I guess, factors like how long you've worked. And, you know, you're not going to get like, mad money off the bat just because you're, like, you know, you'll get something, like, to survive. But it's like, I guess I'd do it, because I was thinking about that disability thing. It depends on how much you've worked. And I kind of like that in a sense. But that might have to be, like, rethought, you know. But you get some sort of amount of work. At least you could go somewhere to survive and not be like too bad, you know. Yeah. At the bare minimum, you can survive. It's not going to be like you're going to be like rolling in dough, you know. You can't like go out and buy cars and like go crazy food shopping and stuff and like smoke mad weed and you know have all the surplus cash. But at least you could survive, you know. And if you get a part-time job, you know, or at the worst, it's like you'll get like enough supplement where you can like work towards something. Yeah.
But I think that like it would definitely be like scaled to the like cost of living of the area that you're in, right? Because the income would be distributed by
I don't know
the state level, I guess. So it's like we do it now is by the state level.
But then it also give people more incentive to not go towards the super congested areas.
That's
like,
a good point.
Now I can like go to these spread out areas and like live there more. It's like get less people out of here, you know.
And that's true.
If you can't survive here, you know, go somewhere else.
Also, it's hard to understand like the money, like what can actually be done. You know, like it's like talking about trillions of dollars and billions. You know, like how much money is really there to do what? You know, like it's hard to understand that. And, you know, people like politicians just say, oh, we can't afford that. If we do this with health plan now, we won't have this. Like, who knows what's actually true, you know?
Yeah. It's a complex system, so you can't always understand, like, as soon as you think that it's like A affects B, it's like, yeah, A affects B, but it also affects D, F, G, and Q, you know?
Who
so
actually
it's
understand those things, you know?
Once you do this, it's like all of those things are going to change. And because those things are dynamic, too, and integrated, it's like, it's a crazy thing. But here's an interesting thought. I think, like, you can, I think there's like pattern in movements that are complex, you know? And I don't know if this is like mystical thinking, but I feel like there are patterns that underlie everything. And that like, you know, what chaos transforms into order at a certain point. It's like at a certain point, like you understand like how it fits in. And there's always like another level above that you don't understand, but it's like even those complex systems that it's like we don't understand. It's like I feel like I don't know if we look at water long enough, like we'll get it, you know, or something like that. Some genius will come along and be like, oh look, it works like this, you know.
Yeah, it's all. Oh yeah, there's so many things on the chain of events, you know. Like who knows what the hell is happening.
I'll think of the basic game too. Let's say okay, you go out to the Midwest or something where it's more sparse and you can live off this money. It's like, I can like start a business here, you know, and I can provide something because now more people are like coming out to this area too. So it's like, you can just provide like incentive elsewhere too, you know, like you can make the economy better because people can take more chances, you know. They can create businesses on top of it, you know?
Yeah, I just had the coolest idea, right? So for the social justice class, it'll be like broken into different groups. So there'll be an engineering department, a finance department, like a law department, and then so it's like as we work on a social solution, like those three aspects like have to work together.
That's a great idea.
And solve the problem.
Make them all pick which ones they want to be.
Yeah, that'll be it. It'll be like you guys choose based on like where you think your interest is. It's like, what do you like? Do you like to make things? Do you like to do math? Do you like to work with people?
I got a better idea. Draw fucking straws. Each class, bro.
Every project. I could shuffle them.
Okay, every project. It's like they have to draw because that way it gets them thinking in different areas too, instead of just being
engineering.
Or I think of the people.
Finance. Yeah, this would actually be a good class. Engineering, finance.
I want to take that class.
I'm not going to call it politics. I'm going to call it law so people understand that shit.
little town.
Yeah, a little bureau. Be like, by the end of the year, we got to be taking clients, guys. I want this thing to turn a profit. I thought about making that like a requirement for a class. Like, you have to turn a profit by the end of the year. You have to make money off something.
That's too much like slavery. I wouldn't do it.
They could keep the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would be their money. I wouldn't take it. It's like, bring me money.
That's what I was looking at. Like,
no, it would be theirs to keep,
Okay, that's more fair. I was thinking very sinister.
It would probably doing that would probably be like an issue. I'm sure. Why?
I have a big party at the end of the year and you guys can order food.
Yeah, that's true. Or, I mean, it's like...
Depends how much they make, I guess.
Another thing you can do as well is, like, they're always gunning to, like, raise money for their class, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, the more fundraising you do for the class, the more money you have to do cool shit when you're in your senior year, Mm-hmm. But most people don't start this is another point about the school. It's like, I'm just happy to be talking about it in a positive way, though. It's like... Each class, like, they usually don't start fundraising until their senior year because
they should start early.
Yeah,
and they should have inter-year competitions to like talk shit, and the winner gets like, let's say they have a volleyball tournament for each grade against each grade, and it's like a knockout tournament. Yeah, and then the winner gets a bigger prize, but then also have it be open to the public, so the public can pay like a small fee, and then everybody gets like. A little bit of money, but the winner gets the most money towards their class,
That would be fucking cool, man.
And then you could have that literally every year, or have it like 3 times a year, just different sports or something. You could think of all sorts of shit. It's like, they're so dumb. It's like...
How's your job going, Jeff?
It's like good. We're slowing down now, which is kind of nice. But I thought I fucked up this one job, and I kind of did. It was like a big job. And then that was the day I was home, so I was like homesick on Thursday. I don't know if I said I took off, but I took off on Thursday. And then I was getting like texts like this. I was like, this is fucked up. I gotta like fix it now. And it's like, it was a job that we've been waiting on. It's like I had it ready for like a week basically.
Okay.
And then I'm like, yo, I need like the colors for this. So, like, I'm waiting for the colors, and they're supposed to be professional artists from big companies. And I'm like, yo, I just need colors. Like, just tell me what colors you want me to print. And it's like, that's all I need. Like, please. And I'm like, we're working on it. And I'm like, dude, I just need. It's like 7 colors. Like, it's not like a lot. It's like I just need 7 colors. It's like I know 3 of them already. It's like I need 4 colors. I need 4 colors for me. And I'm trying to figure this out. And then like they find out they have a printed sample already. And I was like, if you had a printed sample, or they didn't find out, they mentioned those. We have a printed sample, actually.
Why didn't they give it to you already?
And it's like, yeah, I'm like, why didn't, it's like, that's all we need. It's like, do you guys still need
If they gave you
we can just match it off, we can just look at it. It's like, this is that color. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah?
It's like, I mean, we have color books, and it's like, our color people have been working so long where it's like,
they're really
they can kind of just look at it and just like, this is this number.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they gave us that, but like, I fucked up in one thing. I didn't really fuck up. It's like she had to go back and fix it, but the way I did it, it was hard for her to separate some things because I had merged everything together. So like the original object wasn't there anymore. So I was like, oh my bad. But then I thought I fucked up because there's like this crazy pattern inside, like champagne bottles and stuff like that. And I was like, I had made it bigger because it was too small to print. And then I thought she said I fucked that up, like some. I was like, there's no way I like fucked that up, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like stressing out, and I'm like sick, and I was like, oh, and I keep getting these texts like, this went wrong. It's like, what happened to this? It's like, I was like, no. It's like every time I take off, it's like a million things happen, and then like our boss was supposed to be gone, our main boss, and she's like, our boss is here. It's like, oh god. And I felt like extra bad because I took the day off, and like he's there, and not that that means anything, but it's like
compiling.
I don't know. Yeah. It was just like a bunch of little things, and then she's like, what happened to all these jobs? I thought they were out. I was like, yeah, I told like. My little like slave to do it. I was like, he was supposed to do it. Like I told him. She's like, no, you gotta check now. It's like, oh my god. It was like all these stupid things. Other than that, it's been fine. It's like slow now, but that day just everything kind of like hit me.
Do you ever work from home?
Yeah, that day I worked from home. Like I checked like my emails. I was like, if you want me to do stuff, I'll do stuff. But she didn't say anything, so I didn't push her any further. Keep it. But I do work from home sometimes. It's not that big a deal. It's like if I could work from home every day, I would. But I do kind of need to be there though.
Yeah, it's better to be there, but I don't know.
Yeah, like on winter days, I work from home. Like I can't get to work right now. It's like I'll just work from home right now. Get stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to work for a while. I want to retire. Temporary retirement.
Thinking about that shit so hard.
What did you say?
Temporary retirement.
I thought you said 4-hour retirement. Yeah, you Tim Ferriss, but although the 4-hour work week kind of talks about that, but retirement will be good.